What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Heart of the City. Smooth ride tonight with me and Coach, man. We are chilling, bro. Y'all pull up, grab a chair, hang out with your bros, man. We talking New York sports. Lots to get into tonight. Gonna be a quick light show tonight. We are missing our brother Pat, but get well, brother. We got you in the fold. Do know. Yankees. You know how it go, man, with these Yankees, man. We're gonna get into the Yankees. We're gonna get into the Mets. Baseball teams going in tonight, playing today and tonight. We got to talk about the New York Knicks, of course. The Knicks waiting in the wings for their Eastern Conference Finals opponent. On the flip side, we got the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, obviously, in the opposite direction, looking and hoping that they can get their next superstar in the draft. Gonna have to do it with a little bit of luck because they didn't get none in the draft lottery. Also, schedule release leaks coming out. We're going to tap into all the football rumors and news and notes and a brand new culture segment for y'all. You already know what it is. Tapping back to our childhood. So, it's your boys, NYG22, Coach Ed, on the tracks tonight. Coach, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Appreciate it. How about you? How you feeling?
Maintaining, man. Like I said, just tapping into the city, seeing what's going on. It's some interesting things. Like I said, look, man, we want winners. I want winners, and we got a couple, but there's a couple teams, man, with a lot of question marks, and it just seems the luck, as they say, sometimes is not on the side of us out here in New York, rooting for the teams that we root for. But all that being said, man, we're going to get right into it, man. This is Heart of the City 126, man. Been doing this for a while, so y'all tap in, man. Pull up a chair and let's get into it.
Ricey K, the Raisin Man.
We are back in the building, man, for you guys tonight. And Coach, have you been tapped into what's going on here with the New York Yankees?
A little bit. I know that they've been on a downswing. Got swept by the Brewers. I think they lost today to Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah,
7-0 today to the Baltimore Orioles, and that is where we are going to set our eyes on for right now. So Yankees, Orioles. Yankees lose 7-0 to the Orioles. Orioles take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. New York Yankees have lost 6 out of the last 8. And again, injury concerns. Who we talking about now? We talking about Max Fried. Max Fried leaves the game today with an elbow injury. They believe, from what I'm reading, they believe it to not be that serious. But Garrett Cole supposed to be coming back. Carlos Rodon back on the mound as well. The problem is, as usual, as per the course with this Yankees team, has been hitting. Yeah, I mean, your boy Fried gave up 3 in three innings, which isn't good. But again, Yankees didn't score. Yankees did not score. They had 1 hit, coach. 1 hit. So this is the issue right here. When you have a lot of swing and miss talent out there, and you got guys that are injured a lot, you know, I don't know. The results aren't there, you know, as far as production on offense. Now, I give it to the Yankees. Their pitching has been good this year, you know, for the most part. But, you know, you still got to hit now. It's like it's one or the other with this Yankees team, you know. You either can't pitch or you can't hit, you know. So, but what's your thoughts, Coach? What's your thoughts on the Yankees? What's your thoughts on everything going on with this baseball team right now? As they, like I said, they have lost 6 out of 8 and 7-0 today to the Orioles.
I'm trying to stay even keeled. It's early in the season still, no matter what. Like you said, Rodon, eventually Kohler coming back. I know they just brought Volpe up, so I know they're trying to figure some things out. Yes, hitting, okay, that's fair. You know, one hit today, especially with the Yankees, you know, and then 6 losses, you know, and you got shut out a couple of times. So, yeah, is this going to be a continuous thing? But in the same token, like I said, it's early in the season. I'm trying not to overreact because this is still a good squad. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Outside of Tampa Bay, really? I mean, now if the Yankees get their head on right, outside of Tampa Bay, who in the American League do you really have to worry about right now? Let's be real. Who do you have to now to win a World Series? You know, that's a different story. Atlanta, Padres, the Dodgers are even slipping or, you know, not playing their normal brand of baseball. So it's still way too early. We're only in May. You know, if this was, August, the beginning of August, I could start to, etch it up a little bit, but I'm gonna hold back. I mean, I want to see what happens when you get Rodon and Cole back into rotation now freed. If it's nothing serious, that's going to be the key. That's going to be the key. We all know, especially when it comes to the playoffs, you win with pitching. You really do.
Yes.
So I'm not saying we don't need our bats to produce. I mean, we don't even have Stanton in the lineup right now. He's out with an injury. So, I'm like, all right. It's May. It's the early part of May, really. I'm waiting to see.
Yeah, true that, man. Definitely agree with that. But we're gonna get into around the city. We're gonna tap into the rest of New York. Like I said, Yankees going down today, 7-0 to the Orioles. But it really ain't the end of the world, like you said. Still early, but those injuries starting to pile up. Danny Sports, what's good with you, man? Appreciate you tapping in. Check us out tonight. All right, let's get into a little around the city here as we go around New York City and tap into all the area teams with the latest news and notes. Y'all stay tuned. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we coming right back.
I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Said I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, the love and respect first.
All right, man. All right. New York Mets. So we got here with the New York Mets. New York Mets right now 2-2 to the Detroit Tigers. And guess what, y'all? Another injury for the Mets. And it's just like clockwork with these New York teams, man. So Juan Soto watches the ball foul off his foot, so he had to leave the game. Well, he stayed in the game actually, but the Mets have 4 starting position players on the injured list right now. Francisco Lindor, Jorge Polanco, Luis Robert Jr., and Francisco Alvarez. And the Mets do not have a timetable for any of the 4 players that are supposed to return. So I don't know. Yeah, it's as per usual, just not looking good over there for the Mets. And yeah, but moving on. All right, New York Giants. New York Giants are slated to face the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, we tired of them. Dallas Cowboys and Giants opening the league year Sunday night on NBC. So Giants get the Cowboys. We'll get more into the Giants a little bit later here, but it's going to be Giants Cowboys leading off the NFL slate. So all right. New York Jets. New York Jets supposed to face off, I believe, against the Dolphins to start off the year. But of course, you know, you got that Jets Breece Hall contract that just hit, and we're gonna get into this a little bit later. I do want to tap into whether or not the Jets or the Giants are gonna have a better season. So we're gonna get more into the Jets a little bit later here. Y'all stay tuned. Moving on. Brooklyn Nets. Of course, the Brooklyn Nets dropped to 6th. Yes, 6th in the draft lottery. And now there are rumors and buzz about the Nets possibly trading up. The Nets possibly trading up to number 1. Yeah, number 1, believe it or not. The Nets possibly trading up to number 1. Also, rumors of the Nets with Giannis and other players. I mean, this stuff never stops. But the Nets losing the lottery and losing the season, and let's hope they lose this loser of a GM. All right. New York Knicks. New York Knicks, of course, waiting in the wings. And OG Anunoby apparently is on the mend. So the Knicks hope to have OG back for game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals matchup with either the Cavs or the Pistons. Right now, Pistons leading the Cavs 77-73 in the 3rd. We will keep our eyes on that one, of course, but yeah, Pistons, Cavs, either one. Knicks said they ready, so we shall see who they end up getting. All right, New York Rangers. New York Rangers, they drop in the draft order to 5th. No luck for these New York teams, I tell you. It is not good. But the Rangers locking in on a couple of players. Joe Fortunato, Eric Cone. These are defensemen from the Carson Corrals. Tynan Lawrence. So a couple players out there that the Rangers are looking for. Yeah. It's gotta be better, man. When you talking about hockey in this area. So all right, moving on to the Devils. The Devils right now are looking at a player by the name of Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews, and my computer is actively crashing right now. But again, that's why I'm a little slow with this information. My fault. But Austin Matthews, looking to go to the Rangers. The Devils. I'm sorry. And that takes us to the Islanders. And the Islanders, of course, are looking. The Islanders have Rookie of the Year, Matthew Schaefer, who won the Calder Trophy as the NHL's Rookie of the Year. So shout out to the Islanders. A little bit of good news there, finally, for in the hockey or somebody in the New York area. So that's all I got for y'all for around the city, and we're gonna get back to it.
I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Said I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, the love and respect first.
All right, man. Right back at you. So we're gonna tap into some of our main topics here. And I do want to start, if I can get to it, with your New York Knicks. So,
New York Knicks.
all right, let's get into the Knicks here, and who wants next? We're gonna start here, Coach. Talk to me a little bit about this Knicks team and how you feel about this team as they go into the Eastern Conference Finals. Like I mentioned, Cavs and Pistons still trying to battle it out. So you're going to get one of these two teams. Who do you want to see in that next round? And do you think this Knicks team, I'm not even going to say get to the championship because that's obvious right now. You're in the Eastern Conference Finals. You only one step away. They were there last year. I'm going to go a step further. Can this Knicks team win a championship? Now, you know who the possible teams will be coming out the West. You have OKC or obviously Minnesota or the Spurs, and then we'll see with the Eastern Conference Finals, Cavs and Pistons, which ain't going to be no cakewalk, I don't believe. But who knows? Knicks been playing very, very well, historically well. Can they keep this pace up? Can they win a championship and finally bring it home to New York? Talk to me, Coach. What you think?
Is there a possibility? Yes, there is a possibility. To use the football terminology, any given Sunday. So, that I have to say honestly, and that's the truth. I really do believe that. Is it going to be a battle along the way? Yes, it is. Whether you play Cleveland, whether you play Detroit, it's still going to be tough in the East. It really is. It's already been talked about ad nauseum about how Detroit took care of New York and blew them out in all 3 games during the regular season. Wasn't even close. How Detroit wants New York. Because of last year, they felt that they were the better team. And they feel that they can take New York this year. Okay. That's good. Who do I want? I always want to compete against the best. Leaf, we had this discussion earlier. You seem to think that Coach Ed wants the easy route. This man, my brother right here, can attest to what I'm saying to you. I always talk that I want to play the best. I don't want no easy route.
Yeah.
And it's always been like that. That's been ingrained in me since I started coaching as a pup. To be the best, you have to beat the best. Now, in the Eastern Conference, whoever gets there, they're going to earn it. Whether it's Cleveland or whether it's Detroit, they really are going to earn it. So, whoever it is, that's the best team. If it's Detroit, I'm not afraid of Detroit. I'm not. They're the best. They're the number 1 seed. Okay, let's go. Same thing coming out of the West. All 3 squads are well deserved of, and if they get to the finals, they deserve it. OKC is the defending champs. Hey, let's go. Let's line them up. What did Mike Tyson say? Everybody whatever until they get punched in the face. So
Yeah.
whether it's the Knicks getting punched in the face or the other teams, this is a New York state of mind. Shout out to Alicia Keys. And look, I mean, for me, that's who it is. Like, it doesn't matter. You can talk all the matchups, and everybody else is going to do that. In the end, just let's line it up and let's go. What do I always say? If you beat me, I want to look at the film and see what I can do to get better, to come back and beat you. And that's the one good thing about basketball, because in the playoffs, it's not like football where it's one and done. You at least have the opportunity to, you know what? Let's look at the film. Let's figure out. Let's make the adjustments and let's go. And Mike Brown, to his credit, we've criticized him. I know I have all season. But that Atlanta series, and let's be real too. Everyone was going crazy. But the 2 games they lost was by how many points? 1 point apiece.
Yeah.
So it's not like they got dominated or what. And yes, you know, whether you win by 1 point or 50 points, or you lose by 1 point or 50 points, you move on. But the point I'm making is, in those 2 games, they did not play well, and they lost by 1 point each. So if they had won those, playing the way they've been playing, I don't think it would have been a 4-game sweep. Sorry. And they're playing well. They're playing with great confidence. Putting Cat at the facilitator position. This is what Mike Brown, and shout out to Cave, because Cave said it at the beginning of the year when he was hired. He said this is what he did with Sabonis out in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And now he's doing this with Cat. And guess what? Nobody was prepared for it. Now, look, teams are going to prepare for it going forward. I get it. But we'll see. So there you have it.
Yeah. I think the Knicks can definitely challenge any team right now. And that's because they're playing, I'm going to keep saying it, with chemistry. When you're playing with chemistry on the basketball court, you do less thinking out there. You know what I'm saying? It's less thinking and less tenseness or anxiousness or whatever you want to call it. You know where your teammates are going to be. Everybody's playing in rhythm. Everybody's playing together. Everybody's picking each other up. And the one thing that I think's underrated here when talking about the Knicks has been their defense. And defensively, you're not going to win a championship unless you're playing defense in the NBA. I'm just going to be honest with you. You go up and down the court. You know, Mike D'Antoni tried it for years. Go up and down the court, try to score a bunch of points, and it ain't going to work out because they slow the game down in the playoffs, and you got to guard people. You got to play defense. That's what it is. The Knicks right now are playing defense. You looking at that Detroit series, they were holding Detroit under 100 points. So that right there tells me that they can win. You know, that they can win a championship. If they keep playing this way, I definitely think they have a good shot at beating anybody. And that's just being
Here's one
real.
other thing. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about it. They also, their bench is involved in the games. The bench. What did we complain about with Tibbs last year? Not using his bench, not going deep in. Brown has gone. Look, he's shown. I'll go 10, and then yes, when they're blowing them out, everybody is playing. But what I'm saying is, for the heart of everything that they're trying to do as a team, they have a bench, and they're contributing. It's not like, oh, these are scrubs and they're just bodies. They're there playing critical minutes and contributing on the offensive side as well as the defensive side. So just wanted to add that too. Sorry.
Yeah, nah, that you're right, because the bench is definitely important, man. And looking at some of the key players, you're talking about Mitchell Robinson, obviously. You know, you need Mitchell Robinson out there because, like I always say, you surround superstars with tough, hard-nosed players that are, you know, more or less goons, so to speak. That's going to go out there, play defense, and do all the dirty work that your superstars, you know, ain't necessarily going to do because they're worrying about putting up points and getting buckets and facilitating. He helps Cat Towns tremendously. Whether it's giving them a rest, whether when they play them together, or just, you know, like I said, being that enforcer. And then in the backcourt, you know, you got guys like Deuce McBride and Clarkson that come in there and help out Jalen Brunson. You know, because, you know, we know Jalen Brunson can be a defensive liability, you know, mainly due to his size. I don't think due to effort, you know what I mean? But so you got those you got guys like that to come off the bench, man. And, you know, people talked about it with the Spurs with Wembanyama, you know what I mean? And that's something he's got to learn as well. You know, Oklahoma City, they got a whole pack of wolves around Shea, you know, and I see the Knicks building that too. You know, you see some of the guys on the screen, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, you know, they help protect those guys like Cat Towns and Brunson. And I think that's important moving forward into this playoffs. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna roll this one right along. Not gonna waste a lot of time here tonight. Do have other ventures to deal with. So let's see what we got here. All right, let's get into. I want to get into this Nets thing real quick. Because this right here.
Brooklyn Nets.
All right, so question I got is, are the Nets cooked after losing the draft lottery? Now, the Brooklyn Nets tanked 2 straight seasons, actively tanked, you know, 2 straight seasons after they got off the KD, Mikal Bridges, then Cam Johnson trade. This man right here on your screen, Sean Marks, has took this Nets team, and you had James Harden, you had Kyrie Irving, you had Kevin Durant. You also had Mikal Bridges, which I agree with that trade. They got a lot for him. Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas. I mean, then you talk about other guys like Schroeder, Dinwiddie. I mean, and then you look at the roster now, and then you say to yourself, what's this team going to do? What's this team going to do? Because the tank is over. You don't have your pick next year. And if we're being honest, I don't really see a lot on this Nets roster to be excited about. So I'm just wondering, was all this for nothing? Was all this for nothing? Is this team cooked? Coach, what you think?
I mean, look, I keep hearing that this draft is deep. This draft is deep. So you're at 6. Okay, yes, you wanted number one, so you're disappointed. Nets fans have a right to be. I'm not going to sit here and tell you shouldn't be disappointed. Yeah, you wanted number one, or that's one of the top three, top four. But of all I've been hearing is, there's talent within the top 10. That's all I keep hearing. And because you didn't get the top three, now it's a problem. Well, if you had number one, it still would have been the same thing. Just because you would have had whoever at number one, you still have this roster. So were they cooked before the draft lottery? And is there talent? I mean, legitimately, all the look. I don't know. I'm not a basketball aficionado like I am with football. I admit it. But all I keep hearing about is this talent. That's all I hear. So is it? If you had number one, were the Brooklyn Nets cooked if they had number one then? So right now I'm like, and I hear that the head coach, he's a good coach, so, and what did you just say? You just said it with the Knicks. If you have a superstar, you need to surround them with, good role players. So is there someone who can be a superstar that you can get at 6? Because you do have young talent. Now, it's a young team. I get it. So there's going to be bumps and bruises, but is that young talent still good enough? And, so I can't sit here and say they're cooked. I can't believe that they're cooked. Not when I'm hearing that there's talent here. You're still going to get some picks, based off of the Knicks. And what are you going to do in the later rounds? You still have to, what did you say? You just said it. You still got to build a roster. So, is it more that Brooklyn Nets want a superstar? Is that what it really is? Or do you have a team that you can build for the future? Because, look at Indiana. Everybody talked about Indiana and tanking and, not doing what they needed to do, before the trade deadline, at least to compete. They tanked. And what did they do? They didn't get a top pick, right? But I'm hearing no matter what, they're still going to be in good position. They're going to get a young talent and they're going to be getting back good players. And so I'm just saying, look, you still got to build your team. Basketball is a team sport. Yes, a superstar helps you immensely. But are you expecting a rookie to come in here and lead you to the playoffs? Or are you trying to build a team that can be competitive? Because I will say this, the Nets did not try and tank this past season. They did not. And that's kudos and that's respected them. Other teams, we all know they did. The Nets
to some reason, for some reason, that's actually concerning to me. Because that just means you were that bad. You were 17-win bad season. And to be honest with you, that's due to a lack of talent. You ain't got nobody out there. I watched these Nets games. It's a hard watch, bro. They don't have the horses.
So if you had the number one overall pick, would that have made that much of a difference?
I think there's 4 blue chip prospects in this draft. My personal opinion.
Okay, so let me throw this at you. If that's the case, and the Nets don't have the talent, what do you think good teams are going to do? They're going to take that blue chip talent. They're going to take them away and force them around all the rest of the bad talent that you have on this roster. Then,
yeah, I just think you need somebody to build around. That's where I'm going at. You don't have anybody to build around right now. You're not going to build up around Michael Porter Jr. You tried it with Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton. That didn't work out. So Yegor Doman, Nolan Traore, Danny Wolf. I mean, these guys had one season under their belt. none of them impressed me, to be honest with you. I know there's hope for Traore and Doman, but I mean, I see these guys as contributors, maybe, but not anybody as a star. You know, so you're looking for a star to build your franchise around. That's really what you do in the NBA. You know, NBA is star driven. It's less like football, but it is a team sport. So I do agree with the concept of having a team around said superstar, but you need a guy. You know, and you ain't got one right now.
What about the number 6 spot?
Let's talk about that. So at 6, you're looking at Darius Acuff, guys like Mikael Brown Jr. You may get a Keaton Wagler or Kingston Flemings. Right now, I'm gonna share my screen. They have Kingston Fleming projected to the Nets. I'm still doing my homework on a lot of these guys. I did watch some of them in college, obviously. Fleming is a solid all-around point guard. I don't know if he's going to be up, you know, like a star, but definitely I would prefer him over the guards the Nets have right now. Darius Acuff, he is he's going to be a little bit of a liability on defense. So you're looking at Jalen Brunson type player where he's going to give you high production offensively. But you're going to have to build around him defensively. Mikael Brown Jr., I think he's overall one of the, like just a solid overall guard. I think offensively, defensively, so I want somebody that can definitely hold their own on the defensive end and give you, because right now you're looking at point guards, and that's the dilemma, and that's the kind of the thing right now for the Nets is that, like I said, I joke, obviously they didn't take 5 point guards, but you took pretty much a bunch of guards or guard, wing type players, Danny Wolf will be the one exception, but I don't know. A lot of Nets fans like Danny Wolf, just not crazy impressed. I think he's a good hustle player. All these guys can be useful if developed. I don't see star. I don't see anybody you're going to build around. And that's a shame because you had all this draft capital and you still got a bunch of more draft capital. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing with it? Are you going to use all this draft capital to go out and trade for Giannis or trade for Boncharo or somebody like that? No. That's not how you build a team. We know that, coach. And you already tried this shit. That's what I'm saying. That's why I come back to it. Are they cooked? Are they cooked?
I mean,
see what I'm saying? It's tough.
No, I mean, I get it, but I just can't believe that they're cooked. I just can't. But again, you're the Nets fan. You're the resident Nets fan. You know this team more intimately than I do. So, from the games that I was able to watch, I mean, they competed. Like, I look for a lot of other things, and I get it. And basketball is different, when it comes to like football. But I look at all the intangibles first, and to me, I need that first to bring that superstar in or that high-end talent player in, because also this is New York and you bring that high-end talent in here and it's nobody here. Now you're telling me there's nothing on the Nets. So you're going to put a lot of pressure on whoever you bring in here as a rookie. because New York will eat him up no matter what. And if he can't mentally handle that, it doesn't matter what type of talent you have. New York is going to kill him. You Brooklyn fans will kill him. Most of them are not going to be patient. I can tell you're a little bit more patient and want to see it develop, but there's a lot of Nets fans that I listen to, whether it's on social media or live, and they seem to get the superstar in here and we can compete for, a playoff spot and go up from there. And they're always comparing themselves to other teams. I get it, the Atlantas and so on and so forth. And look at Atlanta. Atlanta don't have a superstar. And so, but again, this team, the talent that's better than me. So, but like I said, I saw them compete. So that's why I'm like, I saw them compete, but I didn't watch all their games. So,
yeah, competing and winning is two different things. And yeah, they do compete because I think, especially when you got young talent, you gotta have a lot of try hard players. They're trying to prove something out there. So I think you do see that. And Jordi Fernandez is a good coach. I do think he's a good coach. But he was obviously in on a tank job, so they sat a lot of players. Put some guys on. They were in on it. They were tanking quietly. There's a loud tank, then there's a quiet tank. So the Nets can put a bunch of talent out there that can compete, so to speak, but we know they ain't going to win. Because when I watch a lot of Nets games, and Leaf could tell you this, problem with the Nets is, you see a close score, you see competitive basketball, but what don't you see? You don't see anybody that can go out there and finish games. And that's where superstars come into to effect. You know what I'm saying? So the Nets might have a 5, 6, 7, 8 point lead going into the fourth, and then you see them lose by 10, 15, 20 points. You're like, what happened? It's because they can't finish that team out. So that's really a lot of what I experienced watching this team. Called a couple games, but I know I'm spending a lot of time on the Nets, but I don't see a lot of good. Look, if you get Acuff or Brown or Fleming and you can come in and build around those guys, cool, yeah. But look, what are you doing with the rest of your roster? You got decisions on Michael Porter Jr. Claxton got a contract. They talking about moving off of him. Which one of these rookies from last year do you believe can step up? And what are you going to do in free agency? And what are you going to do with all this draft capital? Because you know what I mean? Now they get ready to change the lottery odds and they get ready to do this and that. So I felt like you blew a chance here to get I don't know. But, all right. Enough of the Nets. Let's get into our football teams here. So, we're going to combine this topic today, Jets and Giants, because I've been seeing a lot going on with the Jets and the Giants. The Jets, I forgot to mention in around the city because my Twitter kept crashing, but the Jets signed Tim Patrick today. So adding to their wide receiver group. And got no news on the leaks for the Jets. Of course, the schedule does come out tomorrow. No. Did you see anything? I don't see any leaks
for
the Jets.
Hold on a second.
But maybe I missed it.
Hold on a second. NFL nerd.
But while you get that, Jets did sign Tim Patrick, as I mentioned, to a 1-year deal. Patrick played 16 games last year for Jacksonville, caught 15 passes, 187 yards with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Packers are at the Jets September 20th in week 2.
Okay. Packers at Jets September 20th. So you got that one. Of course, I mentioned Giants at Cowboys. I thought the Giants were going to get an international game, but turns out they didn't. So there's that. But who's going to be better? This Jets team isn't bad. This Jets team is looking on the ups. As I mentioned, they signed Breece Hall. You know, they bought in some help as far as the wide receiver group, and Jets offensive line is pretty good too. I was watching some Olu Fashanu highlights. Coach, he's been doing pretty well over there with the Jets. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This one is not as set and dry as you might think. So Jets or Giants? Jets or Giants? I've been watching Omar Cooper Jr. He's been looking pretty good out there for the Jets. Armand Membu, the right tackle, he stepped up. So you got Breece Hall, you got Braylon Allen, you still got Garrett Wilson. They got a Donnie Mitchell from Indiana. You got Cooper Jr. Like I said, you brought in Tim Patrick. You got Taylor and Kenyon Sadiq now at the tight end position, along with Jeremy Ruckert. They got a fullback, Andrew Beck. They're looking to run the football. Defensively, you drafted David Bailey. You got DeMario Davis, Harrison Phillips, Shavondre Sweat. Also drafted a guy me and Pat liked coming out of college, Daryl Jackson Jr. Got the Dane Belton from the Giants to go with Minka Fitzpatrick and Andre Sisco, Malachi Moore back there. Drafted D'Angelo Pons, nickel corner. So I like with this Jets team. I like how they're looking. Can they compete in the AFC? We know what the Giants did. We can go back over it if you want to. But who you got?
Giants.
Coach, Jets or Giants?
Giants.
Talk to me.
It's the Giants. But I'm not even going to talk about the talent on the field. The biggest X factor is coaching. What have I been saying the past few years has been the biggest issue with the Giants? Coaching. I'm going to take John Harbaugh over Aaron Glenn. Sorry. And I think Aaron Glenn's a good coach. And, hopefully he can continue to develop as a head coach. But I'm taking because of John Harbaugh. He's going to have this team prepared. And the games that were close that this team lost last year at the last minute, I'm anticipating that they're going to close out with John Harbaugh in the head coach position, which is why I'm taking the Giants.
Here's what I will say. because we talking about scheduling, right?
You talking about scheduling? You talking about who do I think is going to be better?
Who's going to be better in
schedule.
2026? So we got to look at the schedule too, as well. That's kind of why I brought this topic up, because the Jets right now, we're just going to look at the opponents, so we get the. It says the Jets have the 12th hardest schedule in the NFL this year, based on winning percentages. So if you're looking at that, the home and away, I mean, you got some tough teams to face. But what are we projecting here? What can we project without even knowing what the schedule is looking like? We think there's going to be a 5, 6, 7, 8 win team. Can they get to 7, 8 wins? Because if they can get to 7, 8 wins, that's kind of where I got the Giants at. I mean, and now you got Peter Schrager and a couple other analysts on there talking about the Giants can win 11, 12 games. Show me. Show me.
Schrager's a Giants fan, so I that's why I look at it. Like,
we all are, but show me. So again, can the Jets beat Tennessee, Arizona? Can they beat the Bears? Can they beat the Dolphins twice? Can they beat the Raiders? Can they beat the Browns? That's what I'm saying.
I think they can get 6 wins. I mean, I think they can.
See what I'm saying?
I don't. Maybe 7, give or take. I mean, again, it's like you said. It's also a matter of when you're playing them. You know, like you mentioned those teams. I mean, Minnesota don't scare me.
Yeah.
So you know that's another one. So again, you know, with Kansas City, you know, I mean, is Patrick Mahomes starting? You know, I mean. Or is it going to be Justin Fields? And how do they get out to start the season? I mean, I'm not saying Kansas City is a slouch and they're an easy cake. That's not what I'm saying. But the start of their season could maybe play a role. When are the Jets playing them? Because if Mahomes is not playing and they get them early in the season, is it possible? That's why I said, you know, can I see them 6? Yeah.
Also, breaking news today, Malik Neighbors underwent a second surgery. So concerns about Neighbors. I knew this was going to happen. I just felt it. So that's another question. We always talk about health with this Giants team, you know. So are they going to be healthy? You know, are they going to be healthy? Is that guy right there on the screen, Cam Scabble, is he going to be ready? He seems like he's going to be ready, but you know, we got to see it. And then you got Neighbors, so then you got Slayton hurt. So all right, now again, you know how I always say, you know, when there's smoke, there's fire. You know, are you going to be thinking about bringing in OBJ now? So because of this injury situation. So I don't know, man. I just don't think it's as cut and dry as we think.
That's fair. Again, like I said, if you ask me who I think is going to be better, I told you who I think. The Giants, because of Harbaugh.
How you feel about this Malik Neighbors situation? How does him being ready or not affect the projection of the Giants going into this season? Because you know,
course, it's always going to play an impact. It's going to play a role. It is, So, but what do the Giants do? Do they bring in another receiver temporarily?
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about OBJ. So please don't think that's what I'm talking about or alluding to. I mean, I'm just saying
out there. You got a couple other guys, Keenan Allen.
You can also make a trade, whatchamacallit, if Frisco wants out. And I'm hearing just throw Frisco like a late round draft pick and you get them. Now the Giants only have, I think, 5 picks next year, so that may hinder them. So, but if it gets to that point that you're like, well, we need to make a move, maybe you do that. So again, like you said, you also have the other guys. You may want to go that route before making a trade. So again, yes, Neighbors being out plays a role, especially to the start of the season. But look, if it's just cleanup, sometimes that's what is needed. Sometimes, look, everybody makes it a bigger issue. I get it because it's surgery, it's on the knee. Sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to go in and clean it up, and they'll be a little bit better. So I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying we can't look at it in the doom is gloom type of mentality. Got to play it out and see what happens.
True that. Mets walk-off win tonight, 3-2 against the Tigers. So there's that. Mets right now, they've won I believe 7 out of the last 11. So shout out to the Mets now, 17-25. But I'm right there with you, Coach. I think it's the Giants, but I don't think it's by far.
That's fair.
I don't think it's by far.
8 wins, 7-8, give or take.
We'll see what the schedule, what that looks like. We'll have more on that on Giants conversation. Of course, we'll come back here next week and dive in to that as well. I mentioned the Brees Hall contract, Tim Patrick signing with the Jets, the Giants. How you feel about the Cowboys matchup, week 1? Ready to whip some Cowboys?
I like it. I get it. Everybody's tired of it, not me. But I hate the Cowboys, so let's get them week 1. Let's see what we got and let's go. I get they got, their offensive weapons, but look, last year they had a bad defense. Yes, they did make so many different changes. I get it. But it's your week 1. So just like you can make the issue about the Giants, don't forget, we know who they are because it's the same coaching staff. You may have ideas about the team, but in the same token, it's like it's going to be the very first game, so there's going to be things that they may not be ready for. So, because coaches are creatures of habit, so when you do your game plan, you're going to say based on this, based on that, this is what they do, this is the tendency, down a distance, this is the situation, if they're on this hash, on that hash, what do we want to do? All of that comes into play. So, and this ain't John Harbaugh with Baltimore, so this is a different team.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, right now, Cavs and Pistons in overtime. So Cavs up. Definitely want to see who the Knicks end up playing coming out of this one. These two teams are battling though, so you might get a hard fought. You're gonna get a team kind of, maybe banged up a little bit, man, in a hard fought series that may play to your advantage if you're the Knicks. We'll see though. We'll see. Like I said, right now, Dribble James with the ball, and he jacks one up. Yeah, but So we'll see if Cleveland can hang on, but we're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna get into our coaches segment.
Mm-hmm.
So today, Coach dropped this one on me. Top 5 historical landmark places of your childhood. You know, we're talking museums, libraries, fairs, things like that. This one made me think really think about some of the places and some of the things I used to do as a child, because you know, I left New York when I was 18, 19. So a lot of my deeper memories are as a child. That's why I do like doing these culture segments, and it brings you back. So we're gonna get into that. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, man. We are gonna come right back here with NYC culture, man. So let's get right into it. All right. So we're gonna get right into it, man. Coach, I forget the order from week to week. I don't know why, man. But
I'll go first. It's not a problem.
All right, man. You can set it off, man. So
all right. Well, this is the historical cultural landmarks for myself. So these are that played a big role in my life, whether I was in parochial school or in public school, but going these places and with my family growing up, these played a big role for me. So coming in at number 5.
Number 5.
For me in New Jersey, there's a place called Turtleback Zoo. Now, living in Plainfield, there was a segment in Scotch Plains, New Jersey, which is literally the next town over from Plainfield. So it wasn't as big because there's 2 Turtleback Zoos, one in West Orange, which now is literally down the street from me. That's the real big one. But the one in Scotch Plains played a role. I mean, it allowed us growing up so much fun. I mean, I saw lions and tigers up deep. This was like my first zoo that I ever visited as a youngster, and seeing these animals up close, gorillas, they had these there, and the configuration was the where they had them. Sometimes when you hear them roar, it would scare you, and it would make you say, whoa, But overall, it was cool and it was adventurous, and it allows you to look at animals and the beauty that they brought to the world. So, and you saw them right there in their own skin. So there you have it. So next, coming in at number 4.
Number 4.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Central Park, New York City. I mean, you name it. Nice weather, right in the middle, right in the heart of the city, in a sense, right there. You could walk, rides, play. I mean, doing frisbees. I mean, you name it. If you are from New York, we all have, or the tri-state area, we've all been to Central Park, man. We know what it is, and it's a beautiful park. It really is, and sometimes, if you're coming, down Riverside Drive, and you see all the trees, and if you're coming from the Bronx, you coming from the hood, you don't think about the park right there. Or if you're coming down from Harlem, but then you go into this beautiful Spectre, man, it just gives you so much. So there you have it, Central Park. Coming in at number 3.
Number 3.
Liberty Science Center in Jersey City, man. I mean, it opened up your eyes to science and the beauty of science. You're seeing so many things, looking at space and all the different, aspects of science in itself. One of the things that always stood out for me as a kid, when I was in parochial school and we went there, was right there on that left of your screen, the giant hissing roaches, man. Because you think about roaches and you think about what you see in the homes and all that stuff, and you're like, ew. But then you get to these, you see these, and they're big, and the noise. But then they let you pet them and touch them as a kid. At first you're like, eh. But then you're curious and you see, and you're like, these are different. And it really opened up your eyes. And I know now it's expanded more from when I was a kid in the 70s, and it gives you more. And my kids going there, like it says right there, hands-on exhibits, you have all that. And it introduced a lot of kids to science, man. It really opened it up. So coming in at number 2.
Number 2.
Come on, man. Statue of Liberty. I mean, people come from around the world to come here just to go to the Statue of Liberty. Thank you, France, for that. But I mean, yes, climbing up the stairs and going up, but once you get to the top and you get to look out and you see the city and the beauty of it, man. I mean, this is a landmark that really speaks New York City, man. It really does. And the beauty of it is you're not only just seeing New York, you can also see New Jersey. You can look across and see New Jersey. So, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful venture. Man, Lady Liberty, she's probably one of the most beautiful ladies in all of New York City. So coming in at number 1.
Number 1.
I know most of you will like, where is this? But I'm an Air Force brat. This is where my dad was stationed. Now, it's more central New Jersey, down close to Trenton, but it's also right next door to Fort Dix. And being part of the military family and everything that it brings, and going down there with my dad, we used to have picnics down there with his squadron. There's air shows that, we used to go to, and they had magnificent air shows. And it wasn't just the Air Force, the Navy was there, Army was there. You get to go into all the different planes during the air show. You also what most people don't know, you got to get on to what my dad flew, which is right there, C-141. And they used to taxi you down the runway. And they would pick up speed, get in, strap in, and you're riding, and you're like, wow. But you see everything about the Air Force and what they bring. And Fort Dix, you know, we used to go over to Fort Dix, and there's so many different things over there. But as a landmark, I mean, it introduced, and I'm going to be honest with you, if it wasn't for my weight, I was going in the military. I always wanted to go into the military. And this was my introduction, but you know, they wouldn't take me, the forces wouldn't take me, because back in the 80s, I needed to weigh a certain weight. So there you have it. I also have a couple of honorable mentions. So, I mean, there's 4 that, you know, we're just going to hit real quick. The Schomburg Center, the African Arts Museum, and that's in Tenafly, New Jersey. Schomburg is in New York. The Empire State Building, and for me growing up in the 70s, the old World Trade Center. I know there's the new venture coming through, but those were just some honorable mentions that I wanted to throw out there. So there you have it. My 5. You're muted, bro.
My bad. Yeah, dope, man. Definitely, man. Yeah, I'm already knowing Statue of Liberty. You know what I'm saying?
We all good.
Yeah, man, and yeah, I got my own little museum that I visited, man. So I'm going to get into my all right, there we go. All right, man. So up there. So going with my top 5, man. Again, personal to me. So it's not it's my list. It's, you know, it may not. It's places you may or may not know of or visited. But anyway, let's get into it. Number 5.
Number 5.
Okay, Bear Mountain. Now, Bear Mountain was a park in upstate New York. My dad used to always take us there. And this park was like, it's one of those things where you go and you feel away from home without really being away from home. And it's kind of like, because my dad, all my family's from Virginia, so they like to do things outdoors. So Bear Mountain was that spot that we could go outdoors. We could cook out, you know what I'm saying? We could hike, you know, fish. They had different things, different activities that you could do out there, man. So Bear Mountain was always one of the most coolest places that I love to go as a kid, man. Historical place. Like I said, it's a couple hours drive up north, not all the way up where Buffalo, but just slightly upstate New York from the city. So Bear Mountain, number 5. Let's go to number 4.
Number 4.
All right, here's mine. The Brooklyn Children's Museum. Now, the Brooklyn Children's Museum was one of those museums where, like Coach said, with the museum that he mentioned, it's just, it allowed you to explore. You know, you could go look at different things. They had different animals. They had different like artifacts, different things you could play with, explore with. It was one of those places, and it had an auditorium, so there was a lot of like plays, events, speakers going on at the Brooklyn Children's Museum. So shout out to Brooklyn Children's Museum in Brooklyn, man. Definitely was somewhere we visited frequently as a child growing up. Number 3.
Number 3.
All right. Manhattan has Central Park. In Brooklyn, we had Prospect Park. Prospect Park was our oasis. You know, people used to go and just lay blankets out in Prospect Park, chill and hang out, cook out and picnic and stuff. And they had like little ponds and things you could go out there. So it was like an oasis in Brooklyn, for real, man. And we used to go out there and play football. This was where I could go play football. You know what I'm saying? We could go to football, tackle, wrestle, whatever, because it was grass. There wasn't a lot of grass in Brooklyn. To be honest, it's concrete jungle. But Prospect Park was that place. Yeah, I went to Central Park too, but you know, we stayed in Brooklyn a lot when I grew up. So that's why a lot of these things are Brooklyn based, and Prospect Park is where we spend a lot of our time at. So, number two. Yeah, can't leave out Coney Island, because Coney Island is where I spend a lot of time at too. Of course, Coney Island famous worldwide for its hot dog eating competition, but we just went out there to kick it. They had an arcade, you know, we would go out there, you know, meet little honeys, things like that. So it was one of those places where, you know, we actually rode bikes to Coney Island, man. That was the longest bike ride I ever did in my life, I think. Riding all the way out to Coney Island, but it was fun. We had a good time, and yeah, man. Shout out to Coney Island. Also had some difficult times out there as well, but have your good and your bad. All right, but not number one. Number one, famous worldwide. We already know.
Number one.
Empire State Building. And the reason this is on the list is because it's the first time I ever went to the top of a skyscraper. All the way to the top of that joint. We all went up there. We went on the trip. Said, y'all want to go to the top? We was all, yeah. So they went out there. They let us look, you know, they had the lookout where you could go look out and see every city, see Jersey, see all this Connecticut, all these states. And they was pointing them out, showing us where they were. It was a cool ass experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's still there, thankfully. So if you ever go to New York, definitely hit that joint and go all the way up to the top. Don't be scared. and look out and look over and see half the East Coast. But anyway, that's my top 5. And this has been a culture segment for you. Bring back in Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Thank man.
Yo, every last one I knew about been to too. You know, Bear. I could always called it the Bear. You know, because you know it was just a joke of the Bear.
Mom,
so, but Prospect Park, yep. You know, right there in Brooklyn, Coney Island, yep. My GG, took us out there. You know, so always went by, it wasn't during the July 4th. So we always went by the hot dog stand to get one of the hot dogs, because we knew about it. So, so yeah, Empire, yup. You reminded me, they did always tell you, you could see Connecticut too. So it was just like, and then, you didn't go to the very tippy top to the point, but we always there was this one dude, who was, showing us around. And he's like, oh yeah, and don't forget, all the way up there, that's where King Kong was. So it was just like, as kids, you're like, oh, can we go up there and see where King? And he's like, no, you can't go up there. But it was just, So I'm with you. I remember all this. So the Brooklyn, the museum. I remember that too. Yep. So I'm like,
that was kind of like the museum you was talking about, where they let you go and just explore and touch little things, little animals and insects and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. So, that's exactly
science. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But yeah. That's the segment.
That's big.
So looks like
Cleveland won. In
So,
overtime.
Yeah,
Game 6.
we're gonna see. It's going to game 6. So now you gotta wonder, who will the Knicks get? Will it be Cleveland? Cleveland is an interesting matchup, I will say. I think the Knicks can definitely beat Cleveland, but it'll be interesting, man, dealing with those skyscrapers, Mobley and Allen. But you got 2 skyscrapers too, so I just see if Mike Brown uses that matchup with Mitch and Towns in that series. That'll be something I'll be looking for, man. But all right, let's go to Coach's Corner, and I know you got something cooked up for us. We don't got our producer tonight, so I'm gonna do my best here. All right, let's get to it.
All right. Appreciate you, bro. Gonna just tap right into his Coach's Corner. Got a few things. There's a lot that was going on. I didn't put a whole lot in. There was stuff that, that was going on at the last minute. I was just like, whoa, wait a minute. But example, Rutgers got a signing today, like literally right before we went on the show. So it was just like, and I couldn't talk about it, but we're gonna dive right into it. Gonna start with the Lady Liberty. They got off to a fast start over the weekend, winning games against Connecticut and Washington. In the Connecticut, they came away victorious with a blowout win, 106-95. They were led by Breonna Stewart with 31 points, 10 rebounds. Maureen Johannes also contributed with 17 points, as she's also gotten off to a hot start to her season. So shout out to her. Against Washington, they played on Sunday, I believe. It was a tougher game. Washington is going to be a lot harder than most people think. But they did come away with the win in overtime, 98-93. Maureen, she led New York in that game, 25 points. Stewie added 23 points. But also the amazing part of this game was rookie Pauline Ostier. She's a Frenchman. She introduced herself to the Liberty Nation with 18.7 rebounds, and she's become a darling with a lot of Liberty fans. She's right now starting in place of Sabrina, who's out with an injury. So she's done well. Last night, New York traveled to Portland, and they faced the expansion fire, but it was a tough one, man. They lost at the last second, 98-96. Ashley Barker, she put in the winning basket at the final buzzer, giving New York their first loss of the season. I mean, it was an air ball that was shot, but she was right there at the last minute to grab the ball and send it up. Now, what made this loss even more difficult? New York actually had the ball with 13.8 seconds left in the game when it was tied, but they were called for an offensive 3-second, and it turned the ball over to Portland, who ended up coming away with the win. So, and this was Portland's first win of the season. So, on the night, Astier actually led New York 24 points, and then Johannes added 18 points. Now, the two teams are going to be facing off against each other Thursday night in Portland. So, it's going to be interesting. New York has been playing shorthanded. The first 3 games, they've been missing 6 players. They have 2 players that they signed as emergency players. So fans are hoping that missing players can start to come back and help this team. Right now, one of the players is questionable. It's Rebecca Allen. So we'll see. I mean, because it's needed. Because Stewie, Jonquil Jones, they've been playing a lot of minutes. So we'll see what happens when we go from there. Moving on, we're going to go talk a little bit about St. John's. And in terms of men's basketball, Zuby Ejiofor, he earned recognition for his athletic and academic accomplishments as he was named the Arthur Ashe Sports Sports Scholar Male Athlete of the Year by the EDU Ledger. He was chosen from a group of more than 900 nominees across the country. This award is presented to a minority student athlete best exemplifying athletic accomplishment, scholarship, and humanitarianism. In order to qualify, you must maintain a 3.5 or higher GPA, be a sophomore or higher, in good academic standing, and participate in community service. So he has done his part. So congratulations to him on winning this award. Also, he received a private meeting with the New York Knicks where, with the combines, he was one of the players the Knicks sat down and talked to. So we're going to see what's going to happen. So, is it possible? I saw on Tankathon, they project him to go number 31 to the Knicks. So I don't know. We'll see where we go from there. Also, moving on to the women's side for St. John's. They are part of next year, the showcase, women's showcase, that includes St. John's, of course, UConn, UCLA, as well as South Carolina. Now they're going to face UCLA out in Mohegan Sun in Connecticut on the November 24th. So this is a big step for St. John's because you see the big dogs that are there. These are this year's winning national champions, last year's, and the year before that. So St. John's is stepping up in terms of competition. So hopefully they will do well going forward. So moving on to a little bit of Syracuse. I wanted to put this in. And YG, pay attention to this because you'll get this. Syracuse is in the quarterfinals, and they're facing a familiar foe. Syracuse is number 6 in the country, and they're facing the 4th-ranked team, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Now, this is the 3rd time this year they're facing them. Carolina got them both other times, but we'll see. This is Syracuse's 3rd straight time making it to the quarterfinals, and they're one of 3 teams still standing that can claim this feat for 2024, 2025, 2026. And those teams, along with Syracuse, are Georgetown and Notre Dame. So there you have it. And finally, going to talk a little bit of UConn. So USA Basketball announced 35 athletes expected to participate in the 2026 USA Basketball Men's 18 and under national team training camp at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado. It'll begin Thursday the 21st with the 12-member team expected to be announced before the team departs for the FIBA 18 and under Men's AmeriCup June 1st through the 7th in Mexico. One of the participants, participants are represented from graduating class of 2026, 2027, 2028, and the athletes attending camps are selected by the USA National Men's Junior National Team Committee. Now, part of the 2026 in class will include UConn signee Colbin Landry, who's a 6'6" wing from Wheeler High School in Marietta, Georgia. So hopefully he will continue the legacy of bringing the top talent into the national spectrum and compete internationally with the other teams across the country. So there you have it. That's what I have for you today in Coach's Corner. Hope you enjoyed. Back to you, NYG. You're muted still.
I know it always mutes me. I come back, but But yeah, so that's all we got for tonight, man. But Coach, so Sarek, the lacrosse battle, huh?
Yep.
Carolinas have been always been pretty solid in that sport.
Same thing with Syracuse.
So has Virginia, yeah, and Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do pay a little bit of attention to that. But yeah, how you feel about the Liberty so far?
Because they've been shorthanded. That's the thing. What I see, I do kind of like. They running their offense kind of like Golden State. The head coach came from Golden State, so he runs a lot of their five out. Now some fans are a little upset because John Quell is spending a little bit too much time outside, but he hasn't put her inside in the box as much. But it's also a matter of right now you don't have Sabrina. Phoebus is overseas. Carrera is overseas. They're playing actually. I think in the whatever tournament they're in, they're playing for the tournament championship. So, and it just started, I think, either yesterday or today. So, hopefully they can be back by next week. The Liberty, after tomorrow's game, they actually have a week off. So they don't come back until next Thursday, but they're going to be playing the Valkyries. So, and if you tapped into me, Cave, and Leaf yesterday, we gave each of our own rankings of the team. And I actually have the Valkyries number one. They were surprised, and they both had the Liberty, which I understand, but the Valkyries had some impressive wins, which is why. So next week's game is going to be that's why. And first of all, tomorrow is critical. They cannot go down 2-2 on the season. They got to come back and redeem themselves, and I'm hoping they do. I'm really hoping they do, and we'll see from there. But next week they also start. I believe they're going to be playing 5 or 6 games straight at home. So. But there's going to be some tough teams. Okay. The Valkyries, Phoenix is coming to town. I think Indiana is coming to town. So, if we can start getting our players, I think, one person was saying they think Sabrina will be back by the time we play the Valkyries. So, if these players can get back and get into the swing of things, I'm comfortable. I do like what I'm seeing with them, and they're going to be fine. So, the Washington game, part of that is I got to give Washington respect because Washington had size. Normally, New York would have the size to match up, but Washington was doing the right thing to push the game because New York went up by 14, but they fought back by attacking the paint. And Jonquel Jones fouled out, Han Zhu fouled out, and it was just like a lot of fouls, even for New York, because Stewie said it afterwards. It's like the officiating, and that's been a problem across the league. There's been a lot of foul calls, a lot. So, and it's a catch-22. We think that the officials are trying to clean up some things and take some of the physicality out, but are they going overboard? And that game against the Mystics, I even said it during my stream. These officials don't seem to know what they're doing. They did a review and then they stood there for like 5 minutes discussing it. After review, they usually, a minute, whatever.
Right. They keep doing that in the NBA too. It's like, what do you like? Make the call.
Make the call, and you're taking the flow away from the game. And I get free flow. I do. I know I'm old school. I like a little elbow to the chest when you come across the paint. But I also understand. But on the same token, the officiating has to get better because players adjust. You know that by playing basketball. You adjust to, especially early. And if you're inconsistent, and I felt they were inconsistent, and kudos to Washington. Washington is still going to be a tough team. Got to give them respect. So, but Liberty overall, we're going to be fine. Seriously. Yeah. Also remember this. The Aces, when they started the season, got their championship ring, and got blown out by 30 by the Phoenix Mercury. And then the Mercury turned around the next game against the Valkyrie and got blown out by 30 points. So, but the Aces came back and they blew out their next opponent by 30 points. No, I think it was 20 points. That was against LA. So, again, this year's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But the Aces, though,
Mm-hmm.
Like that's always a team you gotta.
There's a lot of movement too.
Yeah.
For example, Minnesota lost a lot of players from their team, and you don't have
Because of that expansion, those expansion
yes,
teams, though. That's
but
what it is.
the money. The other issue is the money. Now that you have that money, some play, um, LA. I mean Vegas couldn't pay everybody, so you
Yeah.
lost players. So some players left for other teams. You know, look at Chicago. They got Skylar Diggins. She left Seattle. So it's like, she went there and she's getting over mill, and Natasha Cloud just signed there for like 550,000. So, the money is you gotta follow the money. So,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
that's the thing. That's why New York getting whatchamacallit, Satu Sabli is big,
Yeah.
because that's another player who's out. She has assists, so we don't know when she's
Yeah.
coming back.
She hasn't played
Yeah.
this season yet.
Yeah, so it's like okay, but when you get them back and they get together and they get comfortable, and the offense that they're going to play, I mean, they scored 96, 98, and 106. I think they're the highest scoring team in the league right now. So that tells me everything I need to know. So now, do they need to play some defense on occasion? Yes. Washington and Portland scored 90 points over on them. So, 96 and 93. So, that can give me a little, but, like I said, Phoebus plays great defense and she helps balance it out. Stewie's playing some good defense. John Quell it has to get there. She definitely has to get there. So, and like I said, Ostier, I love her. She's a great player. I think she's going to help Sabrina, and she can give her great rest. The girl can play. She can shoot the three. She can controls the offense. She can drive, paint touch. And another one, Johannes. Man, yesterday she hit this crazy shot. She went over the left side. She got behind the three, and she was facing the baseline and shot it, kicking up her leg, and the ball went straight up and came right down and touched nothing but net. And it's like they got good guard play, and this offense fits these guards. So I'm like, okay, once you get comfortable, believe me, Liberty gonna be tough.
Yeah.
So
at least we got one contender playing in the Barclays, because that other team,
like I told Leaf earlier on the pick and roll, I'm like, look, kudos to the size. They bought into women. If it wasn't for them, a lot of these changes wouldn't be happening. They were the first to talk about, we need to have private planes for the women. And the league was like, well, you can't do it because everybody can't afford it. But the next year, what happens, everybody now has, the private charters, so because they were, you're going into the airport and your plane gets canceled, and then you're flying in trying to catch up to these are professionals.
Yeah, man.
But kudos to the size for that, man. They bought into women's basketball, and they brought a lot of changes, the things that they brought in upgrades
to the Liberty, because you ain't getting nothing over here with the Brooklyn Nets.
Well, y'all got high end amenities. You just don't have the talent. That's why I will admit that. I get it. Not like the Liberty.
Bare bones, bro. But yeah, that's all we got for tonight. Appreciate y'all tapping in. We will be back next week. And check us out, man, on New York Giants Convo. Sunday, we'll be dropping that schedule release information. Shout out to Big Pat. Get well, brother. Hope you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And we will come back with another one next week. So till then, you know what it is.